السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. In this lecture حنحكي عن أحد الابليكيشن للديريفاتيف اللي هي rules theorem and mean value theorem. بدنا نتعرف ما هي شروط condition of rules theorem and what do we mean about mean value theorem. Look to the graph of the function of x. لاحظ هاي البوينت 0 0 وهاي البوينت a0. واضح إنه صورة 0 equal صورة a and this function is continuous on the closed interval 0a. What is the slope of the tangent line at this point? Tangent line at this point. لاحظ the tangent is parallel to the x-axis. معناته the slope of the tangent at x naught f prime of x naught equals 0 لأنه parallel للx axis. فالrules theorem شروطها بتقول لك if you have f x continuous هي هذا الاقتران continuous if on closed interval this function the closed interval 0a f is 0 equal f a then there exists at least one point where f prime at this point 0 يعني لاحظ هذا الاقتران استطعنا وجود انك تجد 2 point بحيث انه tangent parallel للx axis. So what is the condition of rules theorem? So rules theorem let f be continuous on a closed interval. So the first condition of rules theorem, the function is continuous on a closed interval. The second condition, f x is differentiable on open interval. والشرط الثالث f a equal f b. If these conditions hold, then the conclusion there is at least C belongs to the interval AB. Look to the graph f x. There exists at least, we find 2 points. We find x naught and C2 where f prime at C2 equals 0 since the tangent is parallel to the x-axis. So the conclusion, there is at least C. لاحظ شرط هاي C must belongs to the open interval AB such that f prime less C equals 0. F prime less C equals 0, that means the slope of the tangent line at x equal C equals 0, that means this tangent is parallel to the x-axis. يعني وضع المماس عند هذه النقاط يكون horizontal، يكون أفقي. Now, for example, which of the following functions satisfies which of the following function satisfies a rules theorem? Now, أول function f x equal x square plus 1. حتى يحقق rules theorem you have 3 conditions. The first condition satisfied this function is continuous since it is polynomial. So this function f x obvious إنه continuous على الانترفال minus 1 1 لأنه continuous على r and also f x differentiable on the open interval minus 1 and 1. f minus 1 equal 1 plus 1 equal 2 and this is equal f1. So this function هل يحقق الrules theorem? The answer yes. السؤال الثاني اللي حنسأله find C that satisfies the rules theorem. So, هل هذا الفانكشن f of x equal the absolute value of x on the interval minus 1 and 1 يحقق الرولز theorem؟ واضح أول شرط hold. Now if x continuous on the interval minus 1 and 1, why? The absolute value function is continuous on R. نتذكر رسمة الابسوليوت value للx. لكن if x not differentiable on the interval minus 1 and 1, why? We have a question. Since if x not differentiable at 0 and 0 included in this interval, why? Since if x not differentiable at x equal 0 بالرغم انه الشرط الثالث if minus 1 equal if 1. So هل هذا الفانكشن يحقق الرولز theorem? The answer yes or no. So we say no. So this function does not satisfy the rules theorem since it is not differentiable at x equal 0 and 0 in this interval. Now if x equal x over 2 minus the square root of x, هل هذا الفانكشن يحقق الرولز theorem or not? The first condition obvious if x continuous, if x is continuous on the closed interval 0 for y. هذا الفانكشن continuous على الدومين إله r وهذا الدومين السكوير root of x from 0 to infinity. And if x differentiable on the open interval 0 for y, f prime x هي عبارة عن 1/2 minus 1 over 2 the square root of x. So this function is differentiable. Be careful on the open interval. الشرط الثالث من rules theorem. What is f0? f0 equals 0 and this is equal f4 لأنه f4 4 over 2 minus the square root. So this function fx we say satisfies a rules theorem. فمعناته لاحظ إنه شروط الرولز theorem اللي هي كان عنا إلها 3 conditions. Now, what do we mean about the mean value theorem? If we take this function f(x) and we take the point A and B, this coordinate A, B. This is the secant line. هذا هو عبارة عن الخط الواصل between the 2 points A and B. What is the slope of this line? The slope of this line, the slope of the line اللي هو the secant, this line joins between 2 points A and B. The slope of the line we know delta y over delta x. That means the slope of the line FLB minus FLA over B minus A. لاحظ إن صورة ال A does not equal FLB. Now, if we draw a tangent line at x naught, if you draw a tangent line at x naught, واضح إنه هذا tangent line parallel للsecant, and we know if two lines are parallel, so they have the same slope. That means f prime of x naught, it is the slope of the tangent line. So f prime of x naught represent the slope of the tangent line. ما هي العلاقة between the slope of the tangent line and the slope of the line that joins the 2 points A and B? They are equal. So obvious إنه f prime of x naught equal FLB minus FLA over B minus A. Now, if we draw this graph, if we draw this function, this point A equal A, and this point B equal B. Obvious, the slope of this line equal B minus equal A over B minus A. If you draw a tangent line at this point, this tangent is parallel to the line that joins 2 points A and B. And if we draw another tangent line at this point, and this tangent is parallel to this line. So, mean value theorem. هاي النظرية هي mean value theorem. شو هي شروط mean value theorem? Let f x be continuous in AB. Look to the graph 1. This function is continuous on the interval AB. f x is differentiable on AB. طبعا الشرط الثالث تاع rules مش موجود في mean value theorem. فالmean value theorem هي more general than rules theorem. Then ما هي conclusion? إذا كان الفانكشن continuous on a closed interval and differentiable on open interval, then there is at least C belongs to AB such that هاي C تحقق هذا الشرط. F prime لل C equal F ال B minus F ال A على B minus A. هذا الشرط شو بيعني لك؟ إنه يوجد على الأقل point in the interval such that the slope of the tangent line at this point, F prime ل C represent the slope of a tangent line. The slope of the tangent line equal the slope of the line between the 2 points. So F prime ل C هي the slope of the tangent line at C equal the slope of the secant or the slope of the line that joins 2 points من هم ال 2 points؟ لو من عبارة عن A F ال A and B F ال B. فلاحظ من الرسمة الأولى هو عم بيقولنا في النظرية at least. يعني جراف 1 وجدنا فقط نقطة واحدة بحيث إنه tangent line is parallel to the line that joins 2 points A and B. في الجراف 2 you have 2 points, so at least فما بإنك تلاقي واحدة أو أكثر. And this point must be belongs in the interval AB. Note, لو كانت عندنا F ال A equal F ال B, we get rules theorem. Why? Since you get F prime less C equal F ال A equal F ال B equal 0. So rules theorem is a special case من mean value theorem. When F ال A equal F ال B بصير عندنا وضع tangent line is horizontal. Okay. So mean value theorem هي أعم من rules value theorem. For example, which of the following satisfy mean value theorem? نشوف الفانكشن الأول. We have two conditions, continuous on a closed interval and differentiable. Obvious, the first condition hold y f ال x continuous on the closed interval minus 3, 5. y f ال x polynomial. والpolynomial is continuous on R, so حيكون continuous على closed interval. Now, f prime of x equal 2x minus 1, so f ال x differentiable on the open interval minus 3, 5. فهل هذا الفانكشن يحقق المين value theorem؟ رح يكون جوابنا yes. Now, if f ال x equal x to the power 1 over 3, هل هذا الفانكشن satisfy المين value theorem؟ This function is continuous on R, so أكيد حيكون continuous. So f ال x continuous on the closed interval minus 1 and 1. Now, f prime ال x equal 1 over 3 x to the power 1 over 3 minus 1. So this equivalent to 1 over 3, 1 over 3 minus 1 minus 2 over 3x to the power 2 over 3. Our question now, is this function differentiable on the open interval minus 1 and 1? لاحظ الجواب no. Why? Since f x not differentiable at x equals 0. So obvious, f x not differentiable at x equals 0, and 0 belongs to the interval minus 1 and 1. معناته هل هذا الاقتران satisfy the mean value theorem? Our question no. لكن لو نفس السؤال غيرت الانترفال instead of minus 1 and 1 أخذنا الانترفال 2 4. على الانترفال 2 4 هل يحقق mean value theorem is continuous and also differentiable. So f x on the interval 2 4 رح يكون هذا الفانكشن satisfy mean value theorem. So our equation رح يكون yes. فإذا كانت هاي الفترة so our conclusion yes. Why? Since 0 is not included in this interval. We take the function of x equal linear x. The domain for linear x from 0 to infinity, so f(x) continuous, f(x) continuous on the interval 2 4, f(x) differentiable on the open interval 2 4. Why? f prime x 1 over x. معناته الجواب حيكون yes or no. حيكون الجواب yes. إنه هذا الفانكشن يحقق mean value theorem. This function f x 1 over x, this function is continuous on r except 0. فلاحظوا this function f x is not continuous on the interval minus 1 and 1. فهل الجواب حيكون yes or no؟ أكيد حيكون الجواب no. This function لا يحقق mean value theorem. السؤال الثاني اللي بدنا نسأله إنه find the value of C. إحنا عرفنا هلأ نحدد هل يحقق الرول أو المين. Find the value of C that satisfies rules theorem. f x equal cosine x on pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. This function continuous, differentiable, so rules theorem تعطينا إنه there exists C such that f prime less c equal 0. Now differentiate. f prime x equal, what is the derivative for cosine? Minus sine x. Rules theorem ما هي البوينت الديريفاتيف اللي عندها equal 0. So need to find c such that f prime less c equal 0. That means minus sine c equal 0. So this equivalent c equal أكيد حتقول لي إنه 0. بس بدنا نشوف هل الزيرو included، وكمان ممكن إنه مين الأنجل الساين إلها 0؟ الباي. ومين في عنا أنجل 0؟ 2 باي and so on. لكن شرط إنه this c belongs to the open interval pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. So كم قيمة لسي رح يكون عنا بناء على هاي؟ هل 0 included in this interval? No. So c equal pi. هل الباي included in this interval? Yes. c equal 2 pi. 2 pi not included. معناته حنختار فقط C equal pi. Otherwise لو كانت الزيرو والباي والتو باي included in the interval حنختارهم كلهم. حاول إنه to practice rules theorem. If x equal 1 minus e to the power x square minus 9, this function continuous, differentiable, if minus 3 equal f 3, you need to find c such that f prime less c equal 0. And be careful, this c belongs to the open interval minus 3 and 3. Another example. Find all values of c that satisfy the mean value theorem. For if x equal x squared plus 7, need to find c such that the slope of the tangent at c equal the slope of the line that joins the 2 points 3 and 1. يعني find c such that f prime less c equal f3 minus f1 over 3 minus 1. Now, what is f prime x? This polynomial 2x. So, 2c equal f3, instead of x we substitute 3. So we get 9 plus 7 minus f1 8 over 2. Now, 2c times 2 4c equal 9 plus 7 16 minus 8 8. So we get c equal 2. هاي 2 must belongs to the open interval 1 3. يجب أن تكون ضمن الفترة اللي عنا. معناته قيمة c equal 2. معنى هذا الكلام إنه السلوب ل tangent line عند النقطة 2 equal the slope of the line that joins the 2 points 1 and 3. Another example. If x equal x minus 1 over x, obvious this function satisfy the mean value theorem. Why? Continuous on the interval 1 4. احنا عندنا مشكلة عند الزيرو، لكن الزيرو does not include it in the interval. So find c. f prime c equal f of 4. هاي الكونكلوجن للمين فاليو ثيورم minus f1 over 4 minus 1. Now, what is f prime x? Differentiate 1 plus 1 over x squared. Now, f prime let's see 1 plus 1 over c squared equal f4 4 minus 1 over 4 minus fl1 1 minus 1 0 over 3. Now we want to solve for c. So this equivalent 1 plus 1 over c squared equal 4 minus 1 over 4 اطرحهم حيعطينا over 4 divided by 3. So منها 1 plus 1 over c square equal اختصر على 3 و15 3 5 over 4. So 1 over c square equal 5 over 4 minus 1. So 1 over c square equal 1 over 4. So c square equal 4. So we get two value of c. c equal plus minus 2. أي c رح تختار؟ أكيد حنختار إنه c equal 2. why؟ لأنه هاي 2 belongs to the open interval 1 4. if x equal the square root of x belongs to 0 for this function continuous on a closed interval, differentiable on open interval, then there exists at least c such that f prime less c equal f4 minus f0 over 4 minus 0. Now find f prime x. What is f prime x? 1 over 2 the square root of x. So, f prime of c, 1 over 2 the square root of c equal f4 2 minus 0 over 4 minus 0, 4. So, 4 equal 4 the square root of c. ومنها the square root of c equal 1. So, to get the value of c equal 1. هل 1 belongs to the open interval 0 4? Yes. حاول homework to practice أكتر على نفس الفكرة المين value theorem. f x equal e to the power 2x minus 6x minus 3 on the interval minus 1 0. This function continuous, differentiable on the open interval. What is f prime x? f prime x 2e to the power 2x minus 6. Continue. f prime c equal f0 minus f minus 1 over minus 1 minus 0. And the same للبولينوميال x تكعيب plus x minus 4. And number 6, f x equal the square root 25 minus x squared on the interval minus 5 3. وحاول سؤال تاني انك تحله انه لو اعطيتك الفانكشن f x equal 1 over x squared minus x on the interval 0 1. Find the absolute extremum. بتشوف لي الابسوليوت extremum هل هي max or minimum. طبعا هذا السؤال على المحاضرة سابقة. لاحظ هذا الفانكشن الدومين له r except 0 1 ولهذا السبب عرفته أنا على open interval not closed interval.